And we're back with some more Edison ranked. This is Uriah control. One of my best friends, James, was actually the best man at his wedding. He's a super nice person. Used to play this deck a lot in high school. The idea of the deck is to just annoy your opponent with a bunch of continuous traps, and then hopefully close the game out with Uriah. And then also abusing this time period's priority rule to be able to summon Uriah, and then if they don't negate the summon, activate its effect, which allows us to target a set spell or trap our opponent controls. Neither player can activate cards in response and then destroy it. So it lets us like remove our opponent's cards without them really having a say in the matter. And then we can just sit on it in defense until other back rows cleared out, or we just get rid of all the staples that we know that most people play, such as like Mirror Force or Torrential, etc., or Bottomless. This deck is just actually kind of annoying. It gets to play a lot of stupid cards like Fiendish Chain, Imperial Custom, Nightmare Wheel, as you can see in the hand here. So let's just get into the deck. We'll get into the replay. This is super funny. So our opponent's on Hero Plant. It looks like they sided in Majesty's Fiend or Vanity's Fiend. Game one, we just absolutely blew them out. We just had way too much, and it wasn't really like replay worthy. They just didn't really see a lot, and we saw everything. So here you actually see we opened up set 4 pass. Now this deck actually gets to set 4 pass into heavy a little bit more safely because we do have Imperial Custom. Which means that we can just chain all of our continuous traps and then chain Imperial Custom at the end, and then the only card that dies is Custom. So here, they go draw into Chaos Sorcerer. In their draw phase, we flip Nightmare Wheel on their face down monster, which means that they can't flip it up, and they're going to take 500 during each of our standby phases. So alternate win condition for this deck is we do play Zone of the Spirit, and we do play Magic Cylinder, which means that we can actually just win outright with burn damage. There are Volcanic Queens in the side deck. So we can just outright win with burn damage. So we let our opponent mill 3. They hit Dandelion, Torrential, and I think Solemn. Yeah, they hit Solemn here. And then they summon their 2 tokens. Their set card is Raikou. We Fiendish Chain in the start of battle phase, so they don't get to get the attack off. And then it is our move. So we're going to draw. They're going to take 500. And then we're going to go ahead and Magic Planter off the Fiendish Chain to draw 2. We draw into Mirror Force and Solemn Judgment, which is pretty solid. We have Snowman Eater as well, so we're just going to go ahead and set the Snowman, set the Mirror Force, set the Solemn Judgment, and then just pass to them. They're going to top deck Miracle Fusion, which doesn't really do anything here for them because they don't have any of their hero cards. The idea of like Dandy Hero is you can like Future Fusion your Dandelion and a hero monster to make Gaia, and then just pop off with like Debris Dragon and stuff. But unfortunately our opponent wasn't able to do that, so they mill Quick Draw, Cyber Valley, and Wing Wind Blast. In game 1 they did like open up with like Machine Dupe and Cyber Valley. But it didn't do anything because we just flipped Skill Drain. So they tribute the Raikou here, which gets rid of our Nightmare Wheel to summon Vanity's Fiend. Normal deck, this would just be really powerful, but we get to set 4 super freely in this deck. So we flip the Mirror Force, they lose Card Trooper, they lose Vanity's Fiend, they draw a card off the Card Trooper, they go ahead and set this MST here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they set the MST and they pass to us. We draw Skill Drain because we're just that guy. We go ahead and pass it back to them. They say end phase, we'll MST the Skill Drain. We're like, okay, cool. They draw. They start off with Foolish Burial, and they send Plague Spreader Zombie here, which, looking at their hand, like, totally makes sense. It sucks to see that, but it is Yu-Gi-Oh! That is a factor. So they normal summon Sangan, and then they go Synchro Summon off all of them into Black Rose. We flip Royal Oppression. We pay 800. They accidentally put it back to the extra deck, and then they just add another Raikou. They go set. They can't even set the Raikou because they are normal summon Sangan. So we just set our Metal Reflect Slime, and then we pass. They draw. They top deck Dust Tornado, which Dust Tornado is actually really strong for them here, because they can pop our Metal Reflect Slime. So then they set the Raikou, and then they pass. So I draw. I set Grave the Super Ancient Organism. I sided this card in. There's so many cards that like you don't realize are legal until you search them up in the format library on Dueling Book, which is like super helpful for deck building. So they flip Raikou, and then they mill 3. They mill Grand Mole, Raikou, and Pot of Avarice. So the mills aren't the best here for our opponent by any means. So then they go to battle phase. They hit us for 200 with the Raikou. They're super worried about Royal Oppression here. Rightfully so. They can't summon Chaos Sorcerer. And they have Lightning Vortex, which doesn't do anything here. So then we go to our turn. We top deck Anti-Spell Fragrance, which we do main 3 of these, by the way. Again, another way for us to play around Heavy Storm and us to be able to play into those hero decks. Super obnoxious deck. So we flip up Grave. We flip up Imperial Custom. We send them off for Uriah. We have priority here, so we remind them of that. And then we just hit the Uriah. And to make it fair, I rolled a dice. It was odd for the middle one. So I hit the middle one. It was 1-for-1, which is super bad for our opponent. And then we go up to 7,000. No, it's actually 6,000. I think I was counting Mirror Force when I initially checked. I was just counting trap cards. So I declare the attack, and our opponent's like, well, screw it. I have this DD Crow, so might as well make the Uriah a little bit weaker, right? So my Uriah does go down to 5k here because I accidentally overcalculated. And then, like, as I'm checking their graveyard, I'm noticing that there's no D prisons and there's no Mirror Forces. So this is where, like, we kind of get to play the safe game here. So because we know that the set card is Dust Tornado. So they go... I flip up Anti-Spell, and they go Special Summon Chaos Sorcerer, to which I respond with Solemn Judgment, paying half because I do not want them to banish Uriah. Puts us in a really bad spot. So they have to set... I think the right play here was... They had to set the Dandelion. I think they still should have set... They can't really set the Lightning Vortex because we have Uriah. So we swing into face down, hoping it's not another Raikou. It is Dandelion. So we go ahead and set this Snowman Eater here, and they draw a bluff. And we actually, even though it's a bluff, I chose to play safely because I did not want to just get clapped by Mirror Force and then just be stuck on Snowman Eater. So I use Uriah to pop their set card, and then I switch Uriah to defense and pass to them. They draw Mirror Force, right? So they didn't activate the spell card, so I know it's not, like, super useful. It's clearly not a Lightning Vortex. So I go ahead and hit that set card again. I set another grave, pass to them. Our opponent sets another card. We draw for turn. We go ahead and use Uriah again, pop the set card. It's Future Fusion. Our opponent's got to be super tilted here. I know I would be. So here they go. They tribute summon Caius. They're like, yeah, look at me go. And then they swing into our Snowman. Snowman Eater eats the Caius. They flip Rhoda. They go grab Stratos here. I totally blunder here, y'all. So feel free to roast me in the comments for this misplay. So I flip Grave. I activate Magic Planter. I draw 2. I get Skill Drain and Metal Reflect Slime. I thought I hit set on the Skill Drain. Did not. Our opponent draws Heavy Storm, but it literally doesn't matter. They normal summon Stratos. They use the effect to add Alias. And we go ahead and just flip the Metal Reflect Slime instead of flipping Fiendish Chain, preventing them from getting Alias and preventing them from attacking in general. Which is fine because we have Uriah, so it doesn't matter. We know that their Solemn Judgment is in the graveyard, so unless they have Black Horn of Heaven set, there's not a lot they could have done here. So we drop Uriah at 10k, a whopping 10,000. Our opponent scoops it up, and we win the duel. Simply because we get priority, we get to destroy the set Heavy Storm, and then we can just attack for game. So I feel like you guys are probably going to want to see the deck, so we're just going to hop right over to that so you guys can see it here. So just give me a moment to switch over to that. So here is the deck profile, y'all. So the deck is super goofy. You get to side all kinds of stuff. This is what I think I ended on. There's tons of stuff that you can do with the deck. The list is super, like, open. You could main 3 Anti-Spell if you wanted over the Cyber Shadow Gardna. But to make it easy, it's just 1 Gale, 2 Jar, 2 Eater, 2 Uriah. You don't need 3. 3 is way too many. 3 Magic Planter, 1 Typhoon. No heavy in a deck like this, obviously, because we don't want to be, like, nuking our own back row. I mean, like, there is the argument that we can, like, set 4, trick our opponent into setting 4 while we have Uriah up, flip heavy, destroy all of our stuff, and then Uriah is just super thick. But it's really not that worth it. Cyber Shadow Gardna just lets us, like, activate and then just be bigger than our opponent's monster, which is super okay. It's not the best, but it's, like, the next best trap monster. Embodiment of the Apophis, just another trap monster. So sometimes we do like having these trap monsters. You could even play more Floodgates, but the deck kind of is like the Eldritch of Edison. So Embodiment of Apophis, definitely a fun card. 3 Fiendish Chain, Gravity Bind. We don't really care if we attack. We can definitely just sit under our Floodgates and then send them off for Uriah, because Uriah sends them for cost, which is just, it's good and bad. If our opponent Solemn Judgments us, maybe we're not going to be summoning Uriah while we don't know where our opponent's Solemn is. But, and then next card, Imperial Custom. This card is actually bananas. It protects our continuous trap cards, and they can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. So we can just flip this card and sit on Embodiment of Apophis, and our opponent can't attack over it. It basically turns our Apophis into Spirit Reaper. Next up, we have Magic Cylinder. This is just redirect the attack. It's like an extra bit of burn damage for this. We do have Metal Reflex Slimes, Mirror Force, Nightmare Wheels, Royal Oppressions, 2 Skill Drain, 1 Solemn Judgment, 2 Starlight Road, 3 Zoma. The side deck is just like basically whatever you want. As long as these 3 cards are in there, like you're in there. This card in the Monarch matchup is just hilarious. And then as far as the extra deck's concerned, it's just Chimera Tech and Stardust that matter. And then sometimes Armor Master matters because we can make it with Armor Master. We can make it with Gale and Embodiment of the Apophis. So if you guys like content like this, make sure you guys are putting it down in the comments. This deck is super fun. I'm having so much fun with Edison. I've been playing Edison for like the last 6 hours. I have tons of replays to put up on the channel for you guys. So thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys stay tuned in for the next one. And this is Gores signing off.